There is so much going on these days that I can't, nor do I want to, make videos about every single thing. Honestly, it is an attack what the American government is doing to the American people. And if you are paying attention, it just feels like one thing after another until you can't take it, and that is deliberate. It is being done to wear you out. So if you see a video from me, I want you to know it's not because I want to add to the noise disrupting your life, but because it's something I think you absolutely should know about or be talking about, which is why I'm here today to talk about the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act already passed once in the House in the 118th Congress, but it is back again with the 119th Congress, and with the House and the Senate and the President, it has an incredibly good chance of being signed into law unless there is some collective outrage and major pushback from the people. Here's the problem with the SAVE Act. It reads like a voter protection bill. Like the government just wants to be sure that only American citizens are voting, which, to be clear, is something we already have thanks to the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996, which prohibits non-citizens from voting and comes with the punishment of a year in prison, a fine, and potential deportation. In fact, according to the Brennan Center for Justice, the amount of non-American citizens who attempt to vote is around 0.0001%. That is an absolutely negligible, couldn't change a single election in its wildest dreams amount. This is one of those situations where we've been told there's a problem where there isn't a problem, and now we're solving that problem by passing laws Republicans really wanted but couldn't get passed in a legitimate way. The SAVE Act wants you to prove citizenship, and the best way to do that is with a passport. Now I could say, okay, cool, no problem, I have a passport. But I recognize that even at the record high amounts we're at right now, only 51% of the population has a passport. And a lot of those people are children of adults with passports. So they're not out here voting. But according to the SAFE Act, if you don't have a passport, you have to register to vote by using two forms of ID. One that proves you're an American citizen, so most likely your birth certificate. But those two forms of ID have to match. The problem is, for most married women in America, that's not the case. Our original birth certificate, because that's what they're asking for, will say our maiden name. But our driver's license or our gun registration or our military ID will say our married name. And those two forms of ID will not be the same. So under the SAVE Act, we could no longer register to vote. Now, even if you can find that long form original birth certificate or go to the registrar's office to get it and get your original marriage license to show your maiden name and your married name are the same, you would still have to go to a notary to acknowledge that you are the same person. Is that impossible? No. But is it a ridiculous amount of work for no reason? Yes. Would it cost money and time you might not have? Yes. Is it deliberately designed to make it harder for women to vote? Yes. Is that the actual point of the SAVE Act? Hell yes. Women in America need to be up in arms about this. Hell, anyone who believes in American citizens' right to vote needs to be up in arms about this. We can't allow ourselves to be tricked by Republican lies about illegals voting when 0.0001% try to cast a vote, when what we're really doing is making it harder for 51% of the population to cast a vote. The SAVE Act is not about securing elections. It is a backdoor to voter suppression for people who are poor, people who have lost their documents, and women. Women. The same group who couldn't get their own credit card until 1974, who could be legally raped by their spouse until 1994, the group having their rights stripped away from them around the country as we speak, the group who will suffer if the Republicans get their way and repeal no-fault divorce or insist on the proposed covenant marriages. Many of the same representatives pushing the SAVE Act have argued to return to head of household votes and to repeal the 19th Amendment. So the SAVE Act is just a backdoor to all that happening. This is completely outrageous and part of the same right-wing Christian agenda to get women back under the thumb of the patriarchy, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen where we belong. We are only one generation into women having a chance at our own lives. So even if you want to be the most traditional of traditional wives and bake all day in a ball gown with your 19 babies on a farm, I promise you, you still deserve a vote. But the SAVE Act will take that from you. It will take that from all of us. And we absolutely cannot allow it.